I don't really have a huge agenda tonight. Um, First of all, I hope the connection's not going to be too spotty. If it is, just let me know and I can adjust it. But I am outside right now, just enjoying the beautiful springtime Florida evening and wanted to hop on here and connect with you guys, see what's up, say what's going on, and really just have a chill evening. This is usually my time when I like to have some quiet time with God and just reflect on the season of my life that I'm in, just pray, connect with Him, read the Word, meditate on the Word, and that He speaks, because I believe in a God that speaks and a God who still connects with His people. And to me, there's something so valuable in having a relationship with God in that way. So, we go through a lot of things in life. We go through some things that just don't make sense. And I believe in those moments that's when God really wants to speak and connect with us. And I believe He always wants to speak and connect with us, but I don't think we're always in position to receive. I don't think we're always in a place to really hear Him. I heard an example before of, think of like the radio. The AM and FM radio is playing right now, but you're not tuned into it. And because you're not tuned into it, you're not listening to what's going on. And it's the same thing with God. When we're not tuned into His Word, when we're not tuned into His Spirit, then we can't really hear what He's saying. And when we can't hear what God is saying, we don't really know what kind of action to take in our lives. For those of you who are just joining, I do want to say, hey, what's up? I'm Sasha Hromyk. Hop on really quick and connect with you guys. Just talk about some things that are kind of taking place. And also just to hear from you guys. So welcome to everyone who is tuning in. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I would love to say hello. I would love to shout out. Yeah, come on in. Hey, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. I hope I'm going to say you guys' names right. I apologize if I don't. Is it Nia or Naya? And Fatima, 26. Welcome, you guys. I've been doing these lives recently to just kind of process some of my thoughts while you guys are here as well, because it's one of the main ways I like to connect with you and just hear from God and also kind of process in real time. I know that we all have our different beliefs and we all come from different places and different backgrounds. I do believe in a God who speaks, and to this day, I still believe that He speaks. And I presented the example earlier of a God who, think of like the radio, we might not be tuned into it. It might not be playing right now. We have to be tuned into His Word, to what He says. That includes reading the Word, prayer, being around a community of people, and just having that relationship with God. I believe is very important. So, yeah, I do believe that, on a side note, I do believe that it is important to just feed your mind. If you guys don't have something like a library card, I highly, highly recommend that you guys get one because one, it's free knowledge. Two, it's pretty fun. Just to check out a book, and it could be on whatever subject you're interested in, whether it's art, whether it's business, whether it's biographies or autobiographies. There's a lot of really interesting stories out there, whether that's fiction or nonfiction. There's a lot to learn. Um, I don't know if you guys have library cards, but I highly, highly recommend getting one. Um, Also, hello to everyone just tuning in. I'm Sasha Hromyk, and if you guys do have a library card, let me know. Let me know actually what kind of books to check out. I'll show you what I got today. Still reading it, or just started it. It's called Just Kids by Patti Smith, and um, I kind of know the premise of it. It's about two people who move to New York as artists and build an entire world through their art, which is something that I do. I make music, I design clothes, I have just a lot going on creatively. And I just released a new EP called Chromatic, Sasha Hromyk. Um, how's it going? Hello, hello. I apologize if I'm going to say your name wrong, but Alex Sweden PE? I'm sorry if there's another way to say it, but hello, welcome. Um, yeah, I'm just saying that if you guys don't have a library card, get one. And this book that I just started is, again, it's called Just Kids by Patti Smith. And two artists who moved to New York and build a life. And that's similar to what I'm doing because I have a lot of creative projects that are happening all at one time. Designing clothes, building a business with that. I have a full-time music thing going on as well as working a 9-to-5 job. And it's a lot. And there's some days where I don't know if I can handle that much. And I really have to kind of diversify my time. Um, does that happen with you guys? Um, a lot going on. So I don't know if you guys have ways where you kind of prioritize your time or just manage it differently. Um, I would love to know if you do because I'm always looking for tips on how to do that. So yeah, I'm not sure how long I'm necessarily going to be on tonight. Um, I kind of hop on sporadically here and there just because my main thing is I want to connect with you guys and see kind of what's going on in your world, as well as sharing what's happening in mine. Um, it's a busy season for me, and let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I'm in Florida right now. I know in the past we've had people from all over the states, from UK, from Sweden, we've had Middle East, we've had South America, we have Brazil. Um, but let me know what's on your guys' minds. If there's things that you'd like me to talk about or just process, that's one of the things I really want to do. So let me know. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from, how life is going, and sometimes it is a bit hard to kind of like have banter because it is just me right now on YouTube Live. Um, it's always great to have an active audience because it helps kind of just feed that dialogue back and forth. But yeah, a lot of life is happening right now, and I'm trying to manage so many things at once, and it's hard some days. I just started a new job about a month ago, and so far things are going pretty well. Um, Anytime you start a new anything, whether it's a new job, a new business venture, a new school, there's kind of a season where you just have to adjust a little bit, and it's not always comfortable. There's different cultures, different places, there's different school cultures, different work cultures, and sometimes you just have to learn learn what that is. Nobody really tells you what it is. Um, just through watching, observing, see how people interact with each other. It's not always comfortable. Growth is not always comfortable. And spiritually speaking, when God takes you through a season of growth, it's gonna hurt because you have to face a lot of pride or areas in your life where you had pride. Your ego's gonna get hit a little bit, but there's no way to come out on the other side without having that season of adjustment where God just has to clean you up a little bit. It's not easy, it's painful, it hurts. And for somebody like me that's already so introspective, my inner world is very rich. My internal dialogue never shuts off unless I'm sleeping. And even then, my dreams are kind of crazy sometimes. But I'm just learning to trust that God is in complete control of everything, of every detail of my life. It says, I think it's in Psalms, I have to find the exact verse, but He delights in every detail of our lives. And that includes the workspace, it includes your friendships, it includes your family dynamic. Just let Him in. Let God into all of those places. And He's going to come in. And there's going to be some cleaning up that has to happen. And understand that it's a lifelong thing. One thing, whether it's your attitude in a certain environment. And Anthony Lawson Wood, hey, welcome in. Just to catch some of you guys up, I'm talking a little bit about growth in, spiritually speaking, with God. I know that we all have different spiritual backgrounds, but when God grows you, it's going to hurt a little bit. Actually, sometimes a lot. But look at anybody successful and different characters in the Bible, whether it's David or Joseph or, Paul. Sometimes we want things to stay the same so deeply, but God really wants to grow us to get us to. Right now, that's the season I'm in, is I'm building a few things at once. I'm building a couple businesses as well as working a 9 to 5. And sometimes I'm like, why did I get involved in so many things at once? And I don't think that's the problem, but I do think that my thought patterns have to change. My thought patterns when it comes to growing and also learning how to lead a business and learning how to interact with others, but also create leadership qualities, because I think that's the most important. To build something, you have to be a leader. And it's an ongoing journey. I don't think we ever arrive, but I think when we think we arrive, there's another level of growth that has to happen. And that's not something I'm saying to overwhelm myself or anyone else that's watching, but I do say that because God reveals things to us at the right time. And right now He's revealing certain character things to me that I thought I was like good in, but and I could get upset, I could get mad, I could be like offended over when somebody presents something to me that I thought I was doing good in, but actually needed to step up a little bit. And maybe that happens with some of you guys. Um, it doesn't feel good, but it is. And just understand that if that happens to you, you're in good company. Um, one of my favorite Bible stories is the story of Joseph, where his brothers sold him into slavery, and he was imprisoned for something he didn't do, lied about, and just had his reputation tarnished. But it was all unto something greater, because God ultimately always had a plan to make Joseph great. not for Joseph's own sake, but for the sake of the glory of God. Imagine that. Like, as a child, I don't think Joseph had the best. I think he was kind of blunt. He just kind of said whatever came to his mind. Maybe pissed people off a little bit because he didn't have that social awareness. You know, we see that in the story of Joseph, where that really rubs people the wrong way. Like, that would rub me the wrong way if somebody came up to me and they told me, hey, I had a dream about you, and in this dream you were bowing down to me and essentially, just saying that this person is greater than myself. And one, that really hits the ego, but two, it also just makes you look a bit foolish, makes you look very immature. So Joseph, in his early days, was very immature. I'm sure foolish. I'm sure not the best with controlling his mouth, but he obviously learned. And one day he grew up and, through a long series of events, was brought to the other side. And I think the same is true for our lives. When we go through pain, when we go through seasons of growth that hurt, we always think, God, why are you doing this to me? This is not comfortable. But it's always unto something greater, whether that is God getting you from point A to point B, whether that is helping you start a business or focus on your dreams. God has planted dreams inside of all of our hearts, and I've always been a dreamer. I've always been somebody that has had very big ambitions and goals in life and wanted to see them succeed, wanted to see them come into reality, into fruition. But it wasn't an easy process at all, and it's still an ongoing thing. It's not like I have arrived, but I'm building, and I'm inviting God into the building process, and I do believe that he's opening doors. And I believe the same is true for everyone watching this, that God's given you a dream, he's given you a passion, and he's provided you with resources and talents to make that happen. Everything you need is already inside of you. It's not out there. We think so many things out there are going to fulfill us. Material things or status or people or friendships, whatever it is. It's not going to do it for you. It's not. I promise you that. Everything out there that is not of God is lacking so much substance. And I can just sit here and tell you stories of that in my life, and I will at some point. I can't, do all of it right now, but I do want to say that I'll tell you one story, actually, for a couple of you guys watching. About 10 years ago now, as I'm kind of reflecting on my life, I had a really amazing opportunity that I had to make a decision between two things. And I had to make a decision between two things. One was my dreams that I always wanted to have happen, and the other one was going somewhere that I felt God leading me, but I didn't want to go to. So again, two options: my dreams and God leading me somewhere I didn't want to go. But I knew ultimately he was calling me to. And the dream that I had, it was crazy. I've always wanted to become a singer. I've always wanted to have my own songs released. I've always wanted to write and record my own music. And I had the opportunity to audition for The Voice. And this was not just like, let me break it down for you guys a little bit, because this wasn't just like I went to The Voice. The Voice actually came to me. The TV show, one of their talent scouts actually had approached me on YouTube back in 2016, and they sent me a message saying, hey, we like your video, can you fly to LA to audition for The Voice? And this was 2 weeks before I had made the decision to go to a Bible school in Kansas City, YWAM. And I was fighting. It was a huge internal battle, because on one hand, I was presented with everything I ever wanted to do. I was presented with this opportunity to fly to LA, audition for The Voice, or go to YWAM, go to Bible school. And I knew, like, in these moments, you know what the right versus wrong thing is. And I knew God was calling me to go to Kansas City for YWAM, but I also had an offer. It was quite literally like somebody handed me something on a silver platter and said, hey, here's your dreams. Fly to LA on audition. Ultimately, you know what I did. I chose God over The Voice, over the TV show. And I went to Bible school. I went to missionary school. I had a great 6 months. Came back, and you know what? I auditioned for The Voice. But you also know what? They said no. So it was a very heartbreaking experience. And through that, God took me down another path. But I still ended up doing music. I'm still writing and releasing my own songs. I'm still recording. That's never going to go away, you know? But the route to get there was very different. And it took a lot harder work than I thought it would. So I'll tell you guys more stories down the road. But with that, I want to wrap up a little bit. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Sasha Hromyk. Excuse me. And I'll be doing more lives along the way. If you guys missed this one, don't worry. There's going to be more along the way. And with that being said, I'm going to peace out. Catch you guys real soon. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. All right. See you guys.